You can juice out the pigment though. That color payoff though. Hey baby, how are you doing? So for today I'll be teaching you how to use some painting techniques to make your eyeshadows more popping or more pigmented. So for today I'll be using just a few things. So some brushes and this palette, the Imagic Tiger palette. So a tip, when buying a palette, buy one with many colors because then you can play around. I don't really get the point of palettes having just like a monotone look. I'm just used to having like watercolor palettes that have lots of colors or acrylics, and then you can play around and it's more versatile. And other than that, concealer and setting spray. So before we do it, I'd like to show you first the concept of how it works so that you'd understand it better. So I drew a diagram for you guys. So this is the one. This is the one where you only have an eyeshadow. See, it's only that. So whatever pigmentation you have, I guess it's okay if you have like an expensive palette. And I don't have that, so I work with what I have, and I encourage you guys to work with what you have. And yeah, you can still juice it out. Next one is when you have the eyeshadow with a primer. So the basic concept here is that you're contrasting the colors. So for example, you have a color that's lightly pigmented, you'd put a base at the bottom. Usually it's like pure white. Pure white really works. Usually white primers are very expensive. Just buy the lightest shade that you can find. You can use a primer or a concealer. So this is what I use. This is the Maybelline Fit Me at shade light, number 10. It's like when you're painting a wall, you put a primer first to make the colors pop better. And the last one that I found out that really works, and I use this when I'm using colored pencils to draw. So basically you're going to layer it. So first of all, you put a primer, then you would put on your first layer of eyeshadow, and then you'd use a setting spray to create some sort of a film on it, and then you layer it on top of it. In that way you get a thicker layer and hence more pigmented layer. So what's the difference of it with just having a primer? So for example, this one, if you continue putting on a product on it, it will just form just one layer and then everything else will just fly off. Whereas when you put a setting spray in the middle, you're creating more surface for your eyeshadow powder to stick to. So first I'll be dipping into a red shade and I'll be just tapping it here. I'll show you it first here before I apply it on my eyes. That's the first layer. It's not much. It's getting better. I'll do 5 layers. So this is the third, fourth, last one, fifth. As you can see, there's pigment on it, but it's still very sheer. So what you can do is to add a primer just to contrast the colors. So again, use the lightest concealer that you have or a real primer that's white. So I'll be putting 2 so that I can use it later. So tap it on. Basically what this is doing is creating a surface for the powder to stick. Aside from just the contrast, it makes the powder stick because again, concealer is a bit sticky as per just like your skin since you have a product on it. So first layer. See? You can already see the difference. Okay, next layer. Second layer. See? It's already darker. And it's only the second layer. So, third layer. Fourth layer. And last layer. As you can see, there's a big difference. So from sheer to really pigmented. And again, I'm using this one, this palette, and this palette is very cheap. It's only 500 and and you can already get a lot of colors. And yeah, that's the problem at first. It's not very pigmented, but when you apply the right techniques, you get more pigment. Now let's get on to the technique that works really well. Again, there's primer again here, so this is the one with the concealer. So first layer, second layer. Now before we add the third layer, I'll be putting on a setting spray. So I'm using this Beauty Mist by Miss Clutz. So just a little bit, and you let it dry first. Not too dry, just to make it a bit tacky for the powder to sit on. It's ready. So what is it? Third layer, fourth layer, and I'll be adding another layer of a mist. So, and then the last layer. Now can you see the difference? So this is the one with the eyeshadow alone. This is the one with the concealer. And then this is the one with the concealer and the layer of setting spray. So yeah, it works. Now let's try it on the eyes. So I'll be doing my left eye with just the eyeshadow, and then the right eye with the layering technique. Oh yeah, disclaimer, if you're layering it like this, it will act like a watercolor, so wherever you place it, it will be there and you won't be able to move it. So as much as possible, blend it first before you layer on top of it. So yeah. And also a technique here is that you do your eyeshadows before doing the rest of your makeup, because again, you're doing a lot of mists that might mess up your other products on your face, maybe like powders or something. Now I'm going to be taking an orange. I'm not going to say the name, just any orange that you have. Just blend it right in the crease. And try to blend it really well. And I'll do the one without the primer. Now I'm going to be taking a yellow. Just blending it out. You can't really see the yellow, so I'll start layering. There, you're already starting to see the yellow now. Now I'm going to do the eyeshadow itself. So I'm going to be adding a darker shade, so I'm going with the red one. Just place it on the outer V. It's starting to dust off, so I'm applying another layer. I let it dry a bit, now I'm adding another one. See, you can already see it. I'll try to apply it on the other side. It's not as pigmented. You can already see it with just a few taps. Just get another orange shade, and then just blend it out. Okay, I'll take the red and just put it under the eyes. And then I'll get a dark brown. Another artist tip, never use black. When you're darkening a color, always use dark brown and blue to make the hues darker. So I'm using dark brown. Again, at the outer V. Then I'm going to drag that across the crease. It's starting to become powdery, so I'm going to add another layer. See? Can you see that? It's fast. Now I'm going to do the other side. So I'm going to be adding the last layer on this one and applying a shimmer shade. I'm going for the rose gold one. Just putting it in the inner side of the eye. Looks nice. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, but I'm not going to spray or layer it. So that's it for this chic sunset look. Can you see the difference? This is the one with the layered. You can see it's already darker here. Whereas this one, this is just the eyeshadow one. See, this is a lot lighter color as compared to this one. This is very pigmented. Again, see, layering and the primer does a lot. Plus, what I noticed is here, it doesn't blend as much, whereas when you put a primer on it, the bottom two layers really blend together really well. So yeah, there's a great difference. Also, you can see it with the shimmer shade right here. It's more pigmented and more shiny than this one because it's stuck more on the skin or on the layer of the setting spray. So yeah, and remember when I said a while ago that you'd have to do this technique at the beginning of your makeup routine because it leaves this shiny layer on top because of the layers of setting spray. So yeah, you'd have to do this at the beginning of your routine. So that's it for this video, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button to get notified when I post. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching and stay cute, baby.